This is the 2026 Toyota BZ Woodland. Is it Toyota's best EV yet? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. The BZ Woodland is different from the BZ. Part of that's going to be that it's a little more rugged looking, a little more capable. You can actually go with off-road, all-terrain tires on here if you want to. This model doesn't have those. And it also has a body that is about 6 inches longer than you would see on the BZ version compared to the BZ Woodland. All of your lighting will be LED. I'm a little surprised to see the projector beam style headlights here. That just doesn't seem EV to me, but maybe people don't care about that. I don't know, but it does work. They are LED. Also, your LED daytime running lights with the LED turn signal indicator is built in, and your classic look for an EV with the front end. You're not going to have your traditional grille here. Everything is engineered for aerodynamics, trying to optimize that to keep the charge capacity up as long as possible, as high as possible. We'll have a couple of sensors here, and the front view camera will be neatly placed right there. We'll work our way down. You're going to have the lower area with the spoiler right there, part of the bumper, just to give it a little bit more of a sporty look. And this model will be all-wheel drive. We're going to work our way around here and show you the 18-inch wheels. Now, some EVs really have some gaudy looking wheels. I don't think these are too bad. The gloss finishes here, that is a cover. Actually, if you're wondering about that, what do you think about this design? But keep in mind, it goes back to what I've already told you. It's all about aerodynamics. That's why you have that particular design. Now, with your side view mirrors, every box is checked here that I know you want. First of all, turn signal indicators are built in. They're heated. They're power adjustable. They're also going to be power folding, as you can see right there. And I'm going to let my cameraman come around to this side and show that you also are going to have your blind spot monitoring built in. Always something that I know a lot of you are looking for. Now let's take the key, or the key fob, out of its bag. So you're going to have lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate. There's the panic button, or what we should realistically call the Find My BZ in the Parking Lot button. Now, it does have remote start built in, which is actually you're gonna hit the button 3 times right here and hold that down, then it will start automatically. It doesn't show an actual button that would let you know that it's there, but it is. Now, roof rails up top. We're going to have the crossbars. If you want those, you can install those. They're not here, but you can install the crossbars to increase your cargo space. And believe it or not, this is actually classified as a mid-size SUV. May not look like it, but that's what Toyota says. We're going to find our LED lighting element here on the rear. I do like that that goes all the way across. Don't know how well you can see that in this bright Louisiana sunshine, but you know what? We've got to get this done as early as possible before it gets too hot out here. Rear window wiper is exposed, but I think for most people that's not a big deal. I know a lot of people like to see that concealed away inside of the rear roof spoiler just to have that cleaner look. Some people have told me it's not as effective when it's up there. Tell me what your experience has been. And we'll work our way down. You can actually tow up to 3,500 pounds with this BZ Woodland. That might be a little bit of a surprise to some people, but that is the case. We're going to have our Woodland logo right here. And then obviously you can see our other logos, emblems around on the rear area. And once again, we're going to have those sensors back here. A lot of great safety features, cameras everywhere you need to see. The sticker price at Yoakum Toyota is $49,875. What do you think about that price? Tell me down in the comments section. Let's see what else you get if that's what you're going to pay. Now you have your digital rear view mirror. You can use this as a conventional if you want to. And with the little houses right here, that means this is home link. So we can go and program that in if we need to. And you also have the ability, when you've got the digital rear view mirror on, to come in and make quite a few different changes to a few different things depending on what you're wanting to do. There we go. We'll bring that up just like that. You can make your adjustments. You can choose what you're adjusting. And that's how all of that works. The upper console, going to have a few different things there for opening and closing the power shade for our sunroof. You've got your SOS right there. You can just flip that down and you can deal with that. Hopefully you never need to, but there it is if you do. No sunglass holder, but that's the way a lot of vehicles seem to be going in this day and age. Working our way down, a pretty clean look overall with the dash area, and we'll work our way over to the passenger side door panel. Now you're going to have a larger armrest and door bin, as is typical with a lot of vehicles here with these front doors. You can see the control right there for the power window, all of that's going to be here. Nothing out of the ordinary. And I want to show you one thing down here real quick. We have our pass-through. We're going to have a little bit of connectivity in here. I know we've got some things in there, but you're going to have some connectivity as far as that goes. And a little bit of space there. Now, there is no glove box. You might have noticed that. We didn't show you the glove box like we normally do. It's not here. So that's one thing that's very helpful when it comes to having that pass-through down there. Now, on the driver's side, we will have seat memory, all of our controls for our side view mirrors right here, right, left, and this is the button I pushed to fold those mirrors in earlier in the video, if you were wondering about that. And we're going to have one touch down, one touch up windows at all four corners, or all four doors, I should say. And then we're going to have everything here for opening and closing the power tailgate, your auto high beams, you know what all is there. And this lever right here, we drop that, nothing unusual, allows you to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. All of your steering wheel mounted controls are here, depending on what you need to do as far as that goes. And then one thing that I find is very interesting is the driver's display. A little bit far away, not difficult to see, might take a little bit of getting used to, but there it is. It's going to have the details and information that I know you're going to want to know about, depending on what you need to know about will be there. But just something that's a little bit different. But some people might say, you know what, Tom, I really like that. That works well for me. And we'll have typical things such as our front and rear window wiper control right here, and then everything for turning your headlights on and off and managing your turn signals for those of you that understand the concept of using your turn signals. And right here, these may look like shifter paddles. They're actually not. They are called shifter paddle regenerative braking shifter paddles. Let's get that correct. But that's what they are, for adjusting your regenerative braking with this BZ. Now, nothing unusual here. I do like the look here as far as everything goes. It's nice and clean, but this is pretty much what you're going to have with any Toyota in this day and age. We've got all of our different settings right here, your personal info, Bluetooth, all of that, notifications, Wi-Fi, sounds, and media going to be right there. And you can just scroll your way through and find whatever it is you need. Now, when we go into vehicle, you're going to have driving assist. So if you want to go in and see what all is here, there you go. There's actually quite a bit going on. And if you want to turn something off, just make sure it's not highlighted in blue, as you can see right there. So that's how you're going to adjust those things. For example, with road sign assist, that's going to be right there. And we can come back out of that. You're going to have trip information. Nothing unusual for those of you that are used to seeing my Toyota videos, but you can get details and information there depending on what you need. Charging schedule will also be here. Obviously, that's not going to be in all Toyotas. And you can see some of the other things we have as far as that goes. If you want to know your tire pressure, that's right there. I know a lot of people like to have that on the driver's display, somewhere where they can easily get to that. But at least you know it's here. And vehicle alert, well, I guess there must not be one because the screen is blank. So there you go. All-wheel drive also going to be right here. Get some details on that. Your settings, phone, media, all of that, built-in navigation. Now, you do have some physical controls down here for your air conditioning as far as your temperature control goes, but the rest of it is built into the screen. We will have our heated seats come in right here. You can go to auto, or you can adjust that manually if you want to. Also the ventilated seats. I don't want to turn the heated seats on, but we've got the ventilated seats right there. So nice that you have auto if you want to just let it pick for you what needs to be done. Personally, I just want that thing up as high as it will go. And you can hear, that's actually pretty loud. So that's how that's going to work. 2 stages of your heated steering wheel, and then everything else here. You're going to be able to come in here and adjust your fan speed. If you need to do that, you can do that. Now, when it's on 1, obviously that means it's on. So if you bring it all the way back, that turns it off. But you can see how that works as far as that goes. And then we can come in and turn things to auto. Whatever we need to do with that is going to work just fine. And then we're going to come down here. The volume is going to be here. Your front and rear window defoggers, all that good stuff will be here. A couple more air conditioning vents. I do like what Toyota has done right here with the dual wireless charging pads. This is something we need to have in more vehicles. Your hazard light button will also be there in the center. Now, let's talk about some of the controls we have here. First of all, I'm going to push this button, and when I do, we need to go back up to the screen real quick so we can show you what's going on. So let's go back up to the screen, and see our camera views. Now you've got that surround view. It's going to spin around and let you see what's going on as far as all that goes. And we also have our overhead view. So depending on what you need to do, if you need to stop, you can hit pause right there, and that's going to pause. Now this isn't everything that we have. We actually have more camera views than just that. So we're going to come back down here real quick. Power parking brake and brake hold mode. There that is. The shifter is very interesting. This is your shifter. Now I like that it does have a lockout feature for safety purposes. You actually have to push that down to be able to do anything such as going into drive or going into reverse. And speaking of a reverse, we go up here to our camera views, and once again you can see what we have where that is concerned. And I'm not going to be able to show it to you yet, but you do have that front view camera as well. You can change our trajectory lines around as needed. You can also go into your settings right here. Depending on what you need to do, you can deal with that. Right down here is the P. You're going to push that for park. And then you can see our other controls over here for eco. We're going to have our traction control. And real quick, let me show you this button. When I push that, you're going to see what happens on the driver's display, in case you were wondering about that. Now, we'll work our way down. We're going to have our cup holders right here. And as far as the center console, the lid can be used as an armrest, a little bit of padding built into it, but I like that it opens in two different directions. That's always a nice thing to see. A little bit of storage space in there, as you can see. Fairly decent size. The audio system here in the BZ is a JBL 9-speaker system. Here's a demonstration. There you go. I hope that sounded as good for you as it did for us in person. Space back here is not too bad. I have a little bit of space above my head. If I was sitting straight up, well, maybe not as much, but 5'10", I'm good back here. Somebody over 6 feet tall, you kind of have to slouch down a little bit, but that's the situation with what you have. I told you earlier you got your panoramic sunroof. There is the shade for that. We don't want to let too much light in for video purposes, but you can open and close that if you need to. We have our fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. As I always like to say, instead of having these parallel, they should be vertical like this. That way, when there's a cup in one or both passengers can still use this as an armrest effectively and still be comfortable. And on the rear of the center console, we're going to find a few different things to talk about. We do have the heated seat buttons for the outboard seats. Too bad they're not cooled as well because it's hot today. USB connectivity, and we're also going to have our air conditioning vents. I know that's a big checkbox that a lot of you want to check off. And we'll also have the rear seat pockets on the back of each seat. Last but not least, let's take a look at our door panel over there. We're going to have a little bit of padding built into that rear area of the armrest. It is quite comfortable. That front portion could use some padding, but it works. And the nice large door bin will also be down below. And we told you the towing numbers earlier in the video, the potential, but how about your cargo space? You do have the hands-free tailgate here that you can open a couple of different ways. Cargo space will range between 33.8 up to 74.3 cubic feet. And you can see that you have the cargo area lighting right there. We're also going to have our power outlet right there underneath that you can see. And something that I like here is what we have right here, the release. When I pull on that, the seat backs are going to go down. We can do that on both sides over there, so we'll pull the other one and let you see that. This is how everything looks when it's maximized. You're going to have your cargo net right here. A little bit of space underneath. It goes without saying there's no spare tire here. You also have a cargo cover in this area underneath the floor right there. Decent amount of space, seating for 5 people. Let's dig into the back seat and talk a little bit more about what else you'll find. You will find dual electric motors here. There's not a front trunk. Tell me what you think about that. Some people are good with that, some people are not, but I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Now, let's talk about the numbers. Horsepower, 375 horsepower, and we're looking at 198 pounds-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 4.5 seconds. Some have recorded as quick as 3.9 seconds. Top speed 118 miles per hour. The battery is a 74.7 kilowatt lithium ion battery, looking at up to 281 miles of range with the standard all-season tires. If you go with the optional all-terrain tires that I mentioned earlier in the video, we're looking at 260 miles. Now, how about those MPGEs? I know a lot of you would like to know about those numbers. Let's walk over here to the window sticker and we'll show you what we have. Now, it might be a little hard to see, so I'm going to read these off to you. 127 city, 107 on the highway, 29 kilowatt hours per every 100 miles driven, and 117 MPGEs combined. Now, we're going to show you the window sticker real quick. I don't know how well you can see it. I know a lot of you like to, so we try and meet that need. And we'll also show you right here. All you have to do is come up here and push on that. That's going to open up your charge port. You will have the charging cable that will obviously come with your BZ Woodland that you'll find in the rear cargo area. All right, here we go on our test drive with the BZ Woodland, and we're going to see how it goes. It seems to have a pretty good ride quality. Hard to tell, this isn't the worst road I could drive it on, but it does seem to be doing just fine as far as that goes. And the big advantage here, you do have all-wheel drive, pretty common with the majority of EVs out there. But for those of you that are dealing with those low traction situations throughout the year, well, that's going to be a good thing for you, a benefit. I like that. And even for those that don't have those situations, occasionally it might come up. It's just nice to have that peace of mind when you need it. I feel very comfortable in the driver's seat. The seats themselves are very comfortable. A lot of adjustability built in here between the seat and the steering wheel, so anybody should be able to fit in here without any trouble and be nice and comfortable. And while the driver's display is a little bit further away from what I'm used to, I'm finding that it's not anything difficult to adjust to or deal with. It works just fine. That is a good thing. Now we're going to make our quick little U-turn right here. Very nice, tight turning radius. And since we don't have to worry about a break-in period, we can step on the pedal a little bit here. And it does get up and go decently. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the 0 to 60 is advertised by Toyota to be 4.4 seconds, although some sources have said that it's as quick as 3.9 seconds. I did not bring my Draggy with me today, so no way to really test it. Plus, this is not the right place to do that. I do have a place to do that, but it's a little bit further away. The technology here, typical of Toyota, not difficult to learn and use. That's always a good thing. You don't have a lot of switches and controls to deal with. That's always good. I know a lot of people like more of a minimalistic approach to things. I do wish there were more physical controls for the air conditioning, but not terrible. The main thing you're looking for is going to be temperature, so that's obviously going to work really well because you do have the physical controls right here for that. And I like the use of that digital rear view mirror. Everything here very convenient and I think very well placed and put together. The materials seem good and solid. They'll hold up for a long time. Overall, I think Toyota has done quite well with this BZ. And there it is, the 2026 Toyota BZ Woodland. Is this Toyota's best EV yet? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm curious to know what you think about it. I'd like to say a special thanks to our friends here at Yoakum Toyota for loaning us this BZ for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's helpful and greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.